Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and it's a live stream. I haven't done one of these this week so much, mainly because I've been recording a 100 days of Go and Rust video series. I think I'm up to like day 9 on that. So that will begin premiering at the end of September. So if you were looking to learn Go and Rust, why not learn them both at the same time and join me on my journey at getting better at Go and Rust by watching that video series, because that's the reason I did it. You'll see in the video that like there's a lot of things that I'm figuring out as I watch the video, because the point is to discipline myself to spend a lot of time practicing Go and Rust, because oftentimes I'm just like I've been doing Python, Ruby, JavaScript for a while. I feel very comfortable with those languages. So oftentimes nowadays when I branch off to a new language and you quickly go like, oh, I have to like learn all these new patterns, and I'm gonna go back to do some JavaScript stuff just to feel like feel like a magician again. Um, so by saying, okay, I'm gonna do 100 videos on Go and Rust, and then each video sort of has a topic, and I show it in Go, then in Rust. It's sort of forcing me to put in that discipline to like learn both languages, practice both languages, and why two languages? There's certain languages I think that pair really well together, like Go and Rust. Like I think there's a lot of concepts and patterns that are the same between the both, even though they're done differently. So learning them side by side really helps bring clarity to certain aspects, like of working with structs and methods. Even though both languages do it differently, that's an aspect of the way they both use composition. Like they center their object orientedness is sort of more composition heavy, not inheritance heavy. It's the same way when I learned Python, Ruby, and Python, kind of like in PHP. Like just kind of seeing them side by side really helped make a lot of certain concepts clear, because you see the variation in the syntax. So you see, okay, this is just the syntactical differences. This is the actual underlying programming concept, because it's the same in all four, and that helps just make a lot of things clear. So to me, learning a lot of language, I don't anticipate mastering every language. Like JavaScript is like the language that I'm like strongest in. It's like sort of like second nature to me. But I like learning more languages because it helps make other languages clear. Because again, I have those reference points. Every time I learn another language, it's like another reference point of like how functions are done or of how variables are done. And then that helps me understand peel away at the abstractions to see what's underneath, in a sense. Okay, so a lot of people will say, oh, only focus on one language. To an extent, I think two languages is probably at least a good idea. Again, at least we have at least one contrary reference point to kind of compare to. Because a lot of times people just think like the things they learn in one language are that language. Like they don't realize like functions are a thing not just in one language. Like they just think, okay, this is just the way this language works. So they think it's a JavaScript thing or a whatnot. It's kind of like people who even skip learning a language and just like will learn like the very shallow end of JavaScript and then learn React. They think a lot, and React relies heavily on just plain JavaScript. So then they think of like things like map is a React thing. Like nope, map is not I'm sure if it hadn't existed, the friendly people at Facebook would have made it for us, but nope, that existed before React, and things like that. So, yeah, that's just some perspective before I do So I'm going to do a JavaScript code challenge, and then I'm going to go back to recording my 100 days of Go and Rust, and see if I can get that all done before work starts. But here we go. Let's go get a kata. Oops, wrong button. Keep going to the docs. Okay, so let's see here. Kata, I want to do level 7. I'm limited on time. Okay. Yeah, sure, why not? Python. No, not Python. I want to do JavaScript. Where is the JavaScript symbol? There it is. Okay, so input, I'm going to get a string and an array of strings. Output of function contain all a boolean if all rotations of string are included in array. Okay, So C returns 1. Okay. And then, oh, I see. If you're doing C, then return 1 or 0. Because in C there isn't a true or false. There's just 1 and 0. False otherwise. JQ. Got it. Okay. That's not bad at all. This is just using a lot of array includes. Okay. So return. Okay. So we're going to loop over the array. So we're going to do an array dot every because we want to see if something's true about every item in the array. Why would this one be true? Because if that's string, yes, 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 no, yes. So that should be false. Because I don't see B, S, J, Q. Output function, a boolean of true if all rotations of string are included in R. Oh, I see. Got it. Okay, so the idea is that like every sort of permutation, if we were to rotate the letters. So essentially what you want to do is you want to create a new array of each rotation. Interesting. So I see. Okie dokie. So that changes everything. So first we need to see like, okay, first we need to create the rotations. So cons rotations equals the string dot split, because I want to basically the number of letters there are should be the number of rotations there should be. Okay, so that would make sense to me. So I want to split it by each letter. Then we're going to do a map because we want to create a rotation for each letter. So map makes sense. Okay, so then basically for item index, okay, item index, what I want to do then is let's see here. If index is 0, because for the first one we just want to take the original string. If index equals 0, then just return string. And I just realized the variable is called string. Okay, string. Else what I want to do is okay, so in that case what we would want to do is we want to create 2 slices. Okay, so const slice 1 equals the front half, which should be string dot split dot slice split dot slice. There's a couple different things I could do to optimize this, but I'm not going to worry about that. Dot slice starting from 0 going to the current index up to but not including the current index. Well, let me just think about that, because technically only there's a good way to rotate. technically what I'd want to do is move everything back one. So really the front should be the index and then just to the end. Okay, and then slice 2, const slice 2. Because essentially, let's say I move 1, 2, 3. So then it becomes 1, 2, 3. Okay. Might have to switch this to reduce, but we'll see. Const slice 2 equals string dot split then it would just be slice from 0 to index. So that would, like, in the case of the second number, it'll remove the first letter, and then what we do is we return on our new array where we first do the first slice and then the second slice 2. Okay, and for now let's just console log rotations. Let's just see if did we get all the rotations. Test. Okay, BSJQ. SJQB. JQBS, good. QBSJ. Okay, good, actually works. But I want to make sure that I join that as a string. So with this, haha. So that works. So now we know all the rotations. That's great. Okay, so see, we're getting all the rotations. So that's good. So now we have an array of the rotations. So I have an array to test that other array against. So now I can do r.every because I want to see if, hey, if every rotation is true. And actually, I want to do that for the rotations. So in that case, all I really need to do is return the result. Return rotations dot every, and then here's like r for rotation, and the question just basically is, does r dot includes the rotation? And if that rotation is included in that array, then that's a true, and if it's true for all of them, we'll get back true. So now if I do this, huzzah, it worked. Okie dokie, let's go put this in VS Code. Okay, open folder. Do I have it in my recents? Oh, I guess I've done enough stuff that the code challenge is no longer in my recents. So development, personal folder, yada yada yada, daily code practice, JavaScript, code challenges. Okay. Let's create another one here. Okay. All rotations included.js. Okay. Proud of myself for how quickly I figured that one out. Or at least the rotation, figuring out how to get all the rotations. Okay. Okay, I also want the URL. So all this gets committed to GitHub. Get those commits. There we go. And then let me just push that up to GitHub. Pushy rotations origin master, and again, pushy is a custom command that I made in my bash terminal, so that's why I use that. It adds, it commits, and pushes all in one command. Yay me. Okay, all true. Huzzah. And there we go. Let me just see how other people did it. So they said 4, Okay, so they kind of similarly created the slices. Okay, I see. Okay, so people kind of did have to construct those rotations in some manner. So some people did a little bit more succinctly, but the logic doesn't seem too far off from the basic of mixing two slices, essentially. Slicing the beginning and the other half, but cool. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Okay, and that's going to end my live stream for now, but make sure to head over to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, at Alex Merced Coder. Also, make sure to join the Slack and Discord community over there at devnursery.com. Have a wonderful day and enjoy.